They were tracking on the show this evening. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has slammed the Northern Leaders Consultative Forum, which comprises Christian and Muslim religious and political leaders in the North, including Yakubu Dogara, a former Speaker of the House of Representatives, for endorsing Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Peter Obi, while noting that Dogara has a fundamental right to choose who to support and nobody can hold that against him, insisted that Dogara's position does not reflect the minds of the majority of Nigerians. Another drama, another twist. Elections, of course, coming with all kind of shenanigans. But let's say, does Dogara have the right to speak for a group of people, especially at a time like this when his statement is capable of eating up the polity?
Dogara, you are saying, Obi. In this case now is the aides of Peter Obi issuing a statement condemning the decision of Dogara to endorse the
PDP.
Candidate of the PDP. So that is what they are angry about, and that statement is saying, look, how do you move from one injustice to another? The injustice that angered you initially was committed, injustice in inverted commas, and committed by your own party when it went for the Muslim ticket. You felt that was bad enough. You then moved to the PDP that didn't even agree to zoning that is entrenched in its constitution. To the PDP, where the national chairman said, oh, if the presidential candidate emerges from the North, I will step down. And he's hanging on to that job, in spite of protestations by the 5 governors who have tagged themselves
G5
integrity governors. So they are clearly demonstrating that they never expected that Dogara will move to the PDP, because as far as the Labour Party guys are concerned, these 2 major parties are the problems of our country. Obi represents what looks like a new broom, seeking to clean the origin table. So they do not have any regard for the 2 dominant parties, APC, PDP. PDP, as far as they are concerned, started the problem that we found ourselves. APC, as far as they are concerned, merely compounded the problems that PDP created. So, seeing someone that they had courted, you know how many times we've seen Obi, and Dogara together. We've seen Dogara talking about Obi. We've seen even Dogara's comrade, that's David Babashi Lawal, you know. We've seen him move to the Labour Party. And of course, when he moved to the Labour Party, he was challenged that you shouldn't have moved to the Labour Party. What we are seeing now, clearly, that the people who led the opposition to Muslim ticket, they are not going to have one voice in the final analysis, not even the leaders, because we've seen Babashi Lawal go to the Labour Party. Now Dogara, who was his right-hand man, they were the 2 persons who took the matter on their heads. Now they've gone separate ways. But the Labour Party guys, the opinion of the Labour Party is that he shouldn't have made that decision, that the decision is against the mindset of Nigerians at this time. I still think that, I think Labour Party believes that the overwhelming majority of Nigerians are on his side. So that's the way they are thinking. You know, there's still maybe that Bloomberg survey.
It's still
The Bloomberg survey that predicted the landslide win for Peter Obi. I think it's, a lot of his supporters and even his media people who have issued this statement, that is the way they are thinking, that, oh, majority of Nigerians believe it's Labour Party or nothing.
All right, GKB, it's not the first time we are seeing groups endorse one of the leading candidates. Peter Obi himself has been a subject of endorsement, even from a pan-Yoruba group, Afenifere, under the leadership of Panya Debanjo. Why is the Obi, the Labour Party and Obi supporters upset that a certain group is endorsing another leading presidential candidate in the race? Is this an attestation to the level of intolerance that has been often said about the Labour Party presidential campaign so far?
No, intolerance, no. Naivety, yes. I think you are politically naive if you think that there's something called the Nigerian interest. There's nothing called the Nigerian interest. They are group interests. Dogara and Babashir Lawal and that lawyer that went with PDP were all positioning themselves because they assume that given the Nigerian situation, the emergence of a Southern Muslim automatically conveys on them that a Christian Northerner will become the vice. So it was self-interest that bloomed into group interest, and now it's going back to self-interest. That's the way politics works. Because no matter what they think, because personally I saw the attack and I was amused. Because are you trying to tell me that Dogara, a Northern Christian, a former speaker, because the Christian automatically must liaise with you? It doesn't work that way. He has his own interest to protect. Same to Babashir. He had his own interest to protect. And don't be surprised, as we know in the past, that if this election should go the way it's being projected by a lot of Nigerians, these are the first set of people you will see at Bodilon trying to work their way back.
Yes.
With the leader, with the winner, whoever emerges at that point in time. But like I said, first is personal interest, then group interest. If that doesn't work, then go back to personal interest. It's been way of politics since Adam left Eden.
Well, BKO, let's look at it from a broader perspective. How important are these endorsements in the overall calculations for the elections? We've seen a lot of endorsements, so endorsed person, somebody is endorsing this, but how important are these endorsements? And do they take the focus of Nigerians away from the real issues that this candidate should be addressing?
No, endorsements are very important. Endorsements help you to galvanize your support base. Don't forget, these people endorsing people here and there, they also have their supporters. So there are certain people who have weight, people who have gravitas. If you get endorsed by them in a political season, that will give you a lot of mileage. You can imagine even in the US during the elections, media houses endorse presidential candidates. You see, New York Times will say, okay, we are endorsing George Walker Bush. The Washington Post too will say we are endorsing someone else, maybe John Kerry. So it carries weight when a credible entity or a very credible and strong political force endorses you. But it doesn't, it's just, you still have to work hard. You still have to campaign. You still have to stay focused.
Get out the votes.
Yes, you can't overreach yourself because you've been endorsed here and there. No.
Okay, we have Olushola who's joining us from Ibadan. Good evening to you, Olushola. Welcome to Journalist Hangout.
Good afternoon. I greet you.
Now, I want to believe something from my spirit as a Nigerian. You have right to support any candidate of your choice under a democratic setting. But to me, I want to believe this issue of Muslim cricket should not disturb us as a country. What we should be looking for is good governance that will salvage our country out of this trouble we are now. That in the next 4 years, we'll be singing a new song. But trying to tilt towards cross religious lines, that because Muslim ticket, that is why you are doing this. For me, we are only trying to put ourselves in more mess than bringing ourselves out of the trouble. So for me, Dogara has right to choose anybody of his choice. It's a country that will deliver.
Thank you so much, Olushola. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us from Ibadan. GKB, let's talk about this before we move on to other pressing matters. Now that the endorsements are coming in fast and strong from all sides of the political parties, do you think Nigerians can now make an informed decision on who to vote for, regardless of where the ethnicity or the religious bodies are swinging them into? Because, of course, recently we've also heard some of the religious leaders condemn the decision made by some parties to field a certain candidate or a combination of religions. But do you think Nigerians know better now?
I think Nigerians have made up their mind long ago where they are heading. Majority of Nigerians, because I can't speak for everybody. Majority of Nigerians will vote for whoever they think will best protect their interests. And this interest doesn't have to be ethnic alone. It could be religious. It could be economic. There are so many variables when it comes to election. Don't forget that most countries of the world, the biggest democracy in the world, India, till tomorrow, they still have pockets of people who vote for certain parties. And they will do that for 60 years, no matter the person they present. And the same thing with the US. There are areas in the US that will vote blue or red. It doesn't matter, they don't change. So this electoral cycle, what I expect is that a very tiny minority in the middle. That's what everybody is targeting. But those who are hardcore have already made up their minds. And that is set. What's going to swing this election, as you projected, is going to be two things. What they feel towards the election and what they feel on that election day. But most important, the party that have the will and the power to get them out to the voting center. Because no matter the rhetorics that you blew anywhere, if you don't get the voters to the voting
to the polls,
it's
to
all
the polling units.
It's all moot point.